Zero released just over 2 months ago, and many players are trying to separate characters by their in-game performance, otherwise known as tier list. But I have personally always felt there are a few issues with early game tier list in any gacha game, and today I would like to tell you why. Welcome to my channel. My name is Zenless, and I'll be your host today. A tier list is a visual ranking system that helps people categorize and evaluate characters. Each character is placed in a specific tier, ranging from the highest to the lowest tier based on their strength or relevance in what is known as the meta. In gacha games, tier lists are often used to identify which characters are seen as worthy investments, so players don't waste their in-game resources. However, at the time of recording, Zero is still in the early stages of the game. We have not had the ample time needed yet to truly discover every character's strength, weakness, and overall value in the current game state, and the best comparison to this is another hoyoverse game, Genshin Impact. Upon Genshin's release back in 2020, there were many characters considered top tier, such as Diluc, Keqing, and even Chi-Chi, all while characters such as Bennett, Xingqiu, and Xiangling were all considered low tier, and not being that great overall. Fast forward to the future, and while some characters now have made comebacks due to indirect buffs, it so turns out that the very early Genshin tier list were extremely wrong and misleading in terms of character strength and value. Now, is that to discredit anyone who made these early tier lists? No, of course not, as they were all just going off the information and game knowledge we had at the current time. But did you catch the key word in that sentence? Time. To truly evaluate anything in life, you need time, and that is no different for the characters within the game. We need time to see how their performance varies, time to see if new synergies are found, and with enough time, even new text can be found that makes a character shine more than you used to. It simply takes time to truly push a character to their limits and make sure we as a community aren't missing anything. That's all it takes is one new mechanic or team for a new character to be held in high regard. But this doesn't mean you shouldn't look at tier lists at all. In fact, the greatest thing about tier lists is what comes after them, and that's the discussion. When a community comes together for a discussion, you as a player are now open to many more possibilities and ideas that you yourself may have never thought of. Good discussions are important because it helps players be able to truly process the information the community discovers rather than just simply receive it. Making tier lists on Zero also presents another issue though, as theoretical damage and setups can be much different from practical ones. A highly respected theory crafter by the name of Tintin has once said, "Theory can only get you so far, while testing is the most important." You'll never get the damage on a spreadsheet if you cannot practically do it in-game consistently, and you will also struggle to do the perfect rotations on a sheet if a boss mechanic prevents you, and if you were to fail a dodge or parry, it can stagger your character and ruin your rotation. At the current moment in the game, the biggest victim of all this is Billy, as already some players are upset with his ranking in the current tier list, but he happens to be a perfect example of theoretical versus practical. Billy on paper can have solid DPS numbers, especially if you get multiple copies of him. However, Billy's raw damage is still considered below average by most, but Billy happens to be a character where player skill makes a big difference in its overall output. Now this point can be said for any DPS character in the game, that is true, but the difference between a skilled Billy player and a player just going through the motions with him is night and day. And a great Billy player can keep up with his damage ceiling much longer than other players can, and these players have shown if you play Billy well, he can easily compete with the other DPS in the game, as some of the best Billy players have been able to solo clear the hardest shield defense floors with Billy in the recommended time, as well as beating the newly added Disputed Node with Billy only. Now for me, this does show that Billy inherently is not a bad character if you can play him well, but it does mean that most players will not be able to hit his maximum damage potential due to the skill ceiling needed. I believe it is overall fine to see tier lists that people are making for the game, as it can give you an idea on what others perceive to be strong or weak. But I do encourage everyone to not take everything so serious right now in the current game state. Zero is looking to be around for many years to come, and I highly urge everyone for the first months to even a year into the game to listen to what others have to say, but still have your own judgments on how you personally have experienced the game. And never be afraid to speak your opinion, as it can lead to new discoveries the community has not thought of. But please never let a tier list allow you to make a drastic decision that you will not enjoy soon after. If you're still around, I would like to announce I'll be doing a Caesar King and Bernice giveaway if we can hit 5,000 subs before their banners. So be sure to subscribe for more ZZZ content, and don't forget to check me out on Twitter at Ket7th and join the Discord for future giveaways. And as always, my name is Ket7th, and with that, I'm signing out.